When the going gets rough, you know how the saying goes. Sometimes things happen. Life happens, and it's not always our fault. In this podcast, we'll feature real-life testimonials from people like you, from good times to bad, funny memories and hard lessons learned. Everyone has a story, and everyone has been there. From business owners to parents to young adults, the Hive Five aims to tell stories of overcoming the struggles of adulting while celebrating the little victories of life. In each podcast, our guests will give insight to 5 key takeaways from someone who's been there and done that, leaving you better than when you started. Thank you so much for listening today. My name is Kagan with BriteBee, and we have the pleasure of speaking to Christina Durington with CDI Insurance Agency in Tuttle, Oklahoma. How are you doing today, Christina?
I'm good, Kagan. How are you?
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on our podcast today. I know that it's right after the 4th, so you're probably very busy.
It's my pleasure.
Really what we want to do today is get to know you just a little bit better. And as I said, you're located in Tuttle, Oklahoma, correct?
That's correct.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit about your agency, when you started, and also what products you offer.
We are right in the heart of Tuttle. We are an independent agency, so we offer everything. Homeowners, auto, business, commercial. We do health and life, and anything that falls in between that.
Christina, tell us when you started the agency, because I know that you're recently, is it pretty new?
It is pretty new, Kagan. I started back in February 1st of this year. Prior to that, I was captive for almost 11 years. So it's been quite an adjustment.
Why did you go over to independent insurance agency when you had 11 years of captive insurance experience?
You know, Kagan, I have always enjoyed the industry, and really, to be just honest and quite frank, I was getting really discouraged, I guess you could say, for the restraints that one side of the coin offered, and then the freedom I had heard about on the other side of the coin. And so I will say that being a captive agent for that long gave me the base, and then allowed me to drive that and explore the full potential, really without limitations. And I love the fact that I work on my client's behalf without having those said restraints as my roadblocks, per se.
Right. No, completely understand. And, you know, we've been interviewing a lot of startup entrepreneurs, and you're kind of unique in that, you know, you came from this captive insurance agency, and then you moved into this independent just recently, which the good thing is you have a ton of experience, so that helps you tremendously. But tell us a little bit about what led you to tackle such a daunting task, and how you've been able to do that. I know you said that the restraints, but what else led you to start this agency? I know it's got to be scary to think, okay, I've done 11 years and I've been comfortable, right? And then now you get into this, okay, now I'm starting from zero again.
You know, the experience, I will say, has been a whirlwind of all kinds of emotions, mostly positive and exciting. The reason I did this was because when you think of your why and you try to scope that out, the main driving force of that is your backbone. And for me, that was my family. And I had to have something that allowed me to continue to follow my passion, which is helping to provide the coverage for the clients, but that also gave me the freedom to build something solid for my family. So I have the amazing privilege of working side by side with my daughter. That is something that I was not going to be able to do in the captive world while still being a hands-on mommy and a hands-on wife, and helping her start from the ground up as well. And so there really wasn't any other question for my family when my husband and I weighed out the options. And so we knew that opening independent was the way to go.
Looking at your Facebook, I see a lot of pictures of you and your family. So tell me, your husband, I've seen your husband and then your daughter, and then who else do we have?
So we have Cole, who is about to turn 12. My stepson Wyatt is which he looks like he's the oldest of the three because he is such a tall one. But he is going to be 6 months behind him, so he'll be 12 as well. And then Gracie
Okay.
is our youngest one, and she is about to be 11. Now,
Okay.
my oldest son, he is deployed, and so he doesn't get back until November of this year. So we have five and two amazing
Wow.
grandbabies. So our house is quite full.
Oh my, I
Yes,
bet. And I know I'm getting personal here, but do I remember, are you building a house right now?
we are, and it is actually going to be done right at like the 1st of August. So not only running this and moving and back to school, our plates are full.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's so good to have the opportunity to be with family. And
Yes.
so let's talk about family a little bit more.
Okay.
So you do this insurance agency, and one of the main driving factors is going to be your family, right?
Yes.
So tell me, how in the world do you juggle all this right now?
Honestly, there are days, Kagan, where I feel, and I emphasize feel like I'm not doing a very good job juggling. But at the end of the day, whether it's just a nice text from a client that said, hey, you really went above and beyond, or, I'm really excited to be with you, or hey, good job, or just any kind of affirmation that you get that just hits back and shows you are doing it. So and I say we, when I say that in the sense of the agency, I'm including Sabrie there. So we always make it where family comes first, whether that's we've got to leave or, our kids are here or, we strictly shut the doors. We may lock them, but our phones are still forwarded. I'm a real big stickler that when I do leave, and my phone goes to do not disturb, at a certain time every night. And then that's when my kids know it's hands on, it's mommy time. And then when they're in for the night, then it's, hands on husband time. So I have endless planners. I have endless alarms. It's a juggle. It is certainly something that I juggle, but I think I'm doing it well. If not, I'm sure someone's going to tell me.
Right.
Yes,
Someone will tell you, whether it's your
somebody's
customers
going to
or
tell
your
me.
family.
Yes.
Right. That is funny. So tell me a little bit about the challenges you face as you work serving people continuously in your agency. What are some things that if consumers were listening to and they wanted to hear the truth, you've been transparent with us. And
Yeah.
so what are some things that you wish consumers knew before they came to your agency that would really help you serve them better?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions from a consumer standpoint is somewhere along the way, this notion has been created that we basically set the rates, or why? Well, and this is another good one. Well, why does that accident count against me? When we talk
Right.
about homes, let's say when somebody just moves into a new residence and there was a claim a year ago at that particular address, the consumer just does not understand that, it follows the home. And so those are the challenges, the rates. Some people seem to think that just sit back here and set back what you're going to pay versus Sally down the street who's going to give you X amount for your rate. And that really goes back to what your key word you said is transparency. I love to sit down with people and show them and explain them a definition of coverages and then compare what were you given versus what I'm showing you. And then what does that coverage look like, whether it was taken away, or was it even offered? And so I think those two things are, I would say, the most challenging for me.
You tell me, you've been in the insurance world even longer than I have.
Uh-huh.
But even 11 years ago, do you feel like you're going through that same struggle when serving people and helping them understand the whys? It seems like people would know, after having insurance for so long, but they don't.
Correct. And a lot of it, I think, happens where, as a whole, terms and or phrases, or maybe a slang for a particular coverage, or maybe just how they perceive something, and then one person tells another person. We always have the common known conception of what full coverage means, or,
Right.
whether uninsured motorist. I mean, a lot of people just don't know. And so you're always constantly communicating and educating. And that's one thing I never reply back with, a haste or a negative tone, is because really, at the end of the day, the consumer didn't know. And I had somebody just the other day that was absolutely astounded that going through something already very trying and negative in their life, when separating a household, they didn't know that they were going to get, the negative side effects because certain discounts fall off. And so really
Right.
they're it's just part of the education part.
What are you doing to help even educate more in your agency, or what do you foresee doing as you continue to grow in your agency? How are you going to educate consumers more?
We're getting used to, mind you, because 11 years ago, we did not have video, we had green screens. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
in our agency, we are really grasping and getting comfortable with video and Snapchat. And so it's really funny because I will do, in the craziest of filters, just a common definition in whatever it be, auto or home or commercial, or, and then you just kind of relate on a non-professional platform, but still relatable. And you just educate and you communicate. And that's my personality. I'm a super big jokester. And
Uh-huh.
so that's right up my alley.
So you're telling me, now I don't know if I've ever heard of an insurance agent using Snapchat, but I think it's a phenomenal idea. So tell me real
Yes.
quick, how are you using Snapchat? So are you
So
reaching out to your clients that way, or are you reaching out to additional consumers that maybe are not your clients?
both. So
Okay.
when a client comes in, when Bob and Sally come in, I literally tell them, okay, so our agency has a Snapchat page, and you
Okay.
can make videos with our nice little smartphones and splice them together. And before you know it, you've just made a 30-second video with four different people with four different filters. And it's really kind of funny.
That is hilarious. Well, I'm expecting a Snapchat very soon
Okay, I'll
from
send
you,
it.
so I can see what you're doing, because
Yes,
I think that is so fun and clever.
thank you.
So one of the other questions I have for you
Okay.
is, BriteBee, one of the things that we are striving to do, and as a startup, it doesn't take 2 months to do. It
Correct.
takes months and months and potentially years to do this. But we're wanting to establish a community of people that are striving to keep agents alive,
Yes,
because it's the very thing that's keeping your family going.
correct.
And it's something that we believe the agency model is just phenomenal, and we believe that people need insurance agents in their insurance experience. And I don't care what anyone says, I think people are extremely important in the insurance world. And so robots are not going to take the place of insurance agents, not
No,
in my mind and not in our team's mind.
I agree.
What do you foresee the insurance agent looking like in the next, let's say, 10 years?
Well, I hope she looks just like my daughter out there, because if not, I have miserably failed. We are not robots. You cannot program compassion. You cannot program a robot to answer their phone at 9:30 at night or
Right.
8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. If we market and we preach from the rooftop customer service and connection and a name you can trust, and all of this, well, then you have to continue to model that. And you're
Right.
absolutely right. Our industry maybe can fly a drone over to do a roof inspection,
Sure.
but I promise you, when that roof first came off, they didn't want a robot delivering the clean check. They want you there explaining that everything is going to be okay. And so
You're
10 years
absolutely
from
right.
now, that's exactly what we're going to be doing.
That is so encouraging to hear. So our last question of the day,
Yes.
and we told you in advance that we like 5 key takeaways. Being an insurance agent and your experience in starting an agency, then that's less than a year old, but you're already thriving, and you've been thriving for the last 11 years. Tell us 5 key takeaways that you want your customers to know, or just things that in a business world, what you would like for people to know.
Okay, I'll tell you the five, but I won't go into each five because we'll be here another hour. But
Okay.
the first one that is near and dear to my everything I do is identify your why. Never lose track of that. The second one would be never compromise your integrity for a paycheck. That has disaster written all over it from every angle. The third would be build a solid support with other independent agents that you not only admire, but that you trust. That to me is going to be the lifeline as your support. And then number four would be never forget how important service is after the sale.
Yep.
Nobody, I mean, nobody wants to feel like they were a quota or a paycheck or just a
Very
number,
true.
you know. And then lastly, always have fun, which goes back to, again, what we talked about earlier. Just don't take the profession so serious. Yes, take it serious behind closed doors, but in front of your customers, have a little bit of an open window to where they can relate to you and see that, you know, there is a funny side and there is a side that they can relate to you. And to me, that just it helps build the bond of trust. And
Right.
they, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Well, insurance agents are people, right?
Exactly. Yes.
There's no difference. That is so encouraging to hear, and I love the last one. Christina, how do consumers get in touch with you? What are some of the best ways that they can reach you in Tuttle, Oklahoma? Now, the deal is they don't have to live in Tuttle, Oklahoma. They can find their home insurance, their auto insurance, their life insurance, commercial insurance. They can find all of that through you, but anywhere in the state. And do you also offer in other states as well?
We do. I am currently licensed in Texas, and we have both of those where whether it's friends or families or commercial. I've always done Oklahoma and Texas. And I'll tell you, the consumer can reach me through social media, our website, which is www.cdiinsurance.com. But really, honestly, it's my cell phone. And that's always, like I said, on me, unless it's on Do Not Disturb. You can send a text, certainly email. I don't have and I don't believe, and again, it's just me, I did not get where I am by not answering my phone.
Thank you so much, Christina. We really appreciate your time today. If anyone is interested in speaking more with Christina, you can also find her on BriteBee.com and look for Christina Durington, CDI Insurance Agency in Tuttle, Oklahoma. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.